Welcome back to Power Word Crit, everybody. My name is Corin, and I will be your dungeon master today. With me are 4 xylophonic players. They are...
Kayla, I'm playing Celestine Peacechild.
I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Lilac.
I'm Ashlyn, and I'm playing Isi Welcomov.
I'm David, and I'm playing Lord Usarker von Pride.
Today is a special day. It is a very special episode. Lilac survived episode 30.
Yeah! We've been having this terrible thing that in running through my characters, Kurt made it 8 episodes.
Yeah, 8.5. Yeah, it was in episode 8.
Wesley made it 9.
10.
Technically 10 episodes because he died in episode 19.
So the next one was 12, which was episode 30. And we are at 31.
Yeah, okay.
You have broken the curse.
So hopefully that holds true. I mean, I like to play adventurously because we're adventurers doing adventurous things. And yeah, cautious is nice, but it doesn't always make good for good radio. So
True. But I also don't want you to have to keep making new characters and the rest of us don't.
It's a thing. You all just need to play more adventurously, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
Step up your game.
No,
Put yourselves
I
in
love
peril.
Izzy too much.
Step up your recklessness. Last time on Power Word Crit, when it was safe to do so, the group decided to leave their hiding spot in favor of moving closer to the cultist camp. With Usarker's detailed report in hand, the 3 orcs split off from the party to return to their clan, taking a much longer and more southern route as a precaution. Just hours after the split, Lilac, in mountain lion form, heard a large group of people complaining about being sent away from the camp. A battle ensued, to which only a gross goblin with a head cold and a beautiful pigtail-braided elf survived. After a little coaxing, the goblin revealed that the cult had some sort of flying castle nearby and that many of the members were being sent home, and that there were about 10 prisoners who didn't really look so well. He also revealed that the cultists in this area identified themselves through 4 selected nursery rhymes. But he only knew 2, but he also knew how to bypass the scouts who would enforce these rhymes. Satisfied with this information, Celestine animated one of their fallen cultists and commanded it to take the tied-up goblin and elf southwest and sent the zombie and the prisoners on their way. That means the party now knows 3 of the 4 nursery rhymes, and that they were successfully able to reach the camp without any difficulty. So, where we leave you guys? Well, I want to ask you, how close do you want to be to the camp?
So first of all, can I retroactively ask that I had retrieved the arrows that I had used during the last encounter?
Yeah. I'll say you got half back.
Okay.
I think that we want to be pretty close, but not like extremely close and in danger of being discovered.
Is our objective to walk straight in under disguise of nursery rhyme, or is our objective to have you scout in animal form for a while first?
I think we need just a little bit of more information to find out where the prisoners are, I guess, and to find out just a little bit of information before we go in. So I think that maybe we are like 20 minutes out or something like that.
20 minutes out?
Does that jive with everybody?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
works.
So from 20 minutes out, you can see the hollow of the mountain range, but you can't really see what's going on in there yet.
So I'm going to get relatively close, wild shape into a lilac. I'm already a lilac. Into a lizard.
Okay.
And then go scouting in. Primary points trying to figure out is where are the prisoners and get a feel for what the current state of the camp is and what our best way in is.
So what is the speed of a lizard?
Not much.
Unladen or laden?
Depends on if it's carrying
At this
coconuts,
point,
right?
he would be
Thank you.
unladen.
Looks like I have a 20 feet climb speed and 20 feet ground speed. 20.
Okay. Takes you some time. How long can you stay in wild shape?
For in 2 hours.
We'll say because your speed is a little bit reduced,
Only 10 feet less than my normal speed.
And
It's
you
true.
didn't start off at the 20-minute mark, right? You came closer to the camp and then did it.
Well, how close to the camp did you go
5
before you
minutes.
did it?
Like 10 minutes out or 5 minutes out. Somewhere in
Okay.
there.
Because that makes a difference.
Yeah.
You get in there, and you're just a lizard. Nobody really sees or does anything. It's a lizard.
Well, good. Surely they are doing something. I'm observing.
Okay. On the map, you are in the bottom right corner of
Okay.
the map.
So again, we have a kind of horseshoe-shaped hollow in amongst the plateau, and we are coming in from the southwest. No,
Southeast.
southeast. Yeah, southeast.
Last night, it was kind of hard to see because it was dark.
It's dark.
Today, what you can see a lot better. You do see the whole camp as it actually is. The rocks that you had climbed on the sides of, like the walls of this canyon, are extremely rocky.
But that's good. Rocks are rocks.
Rocks are rocks, yeah. Climbing this would be pretty rough for a humanoid. The lower portion of this plateau, as you noticed last night, does rise gently from the surrounding land, but then it quickly steepens and ascends to a height of 150 feet above the landscape. There are, as you saw last night, there seems to be 2 levels inside the camp itself. There is the more level portion, which goes in about halfway, and then there's a small incline that goes into a second portion where you found that fancy tent. And also during the day, you do notice that there are shallow and deep caves. You noticed that last night as well. However, there's a lot more than you thought. There's hundreds upon hundreds of these. Boulders and brush conceal a lot of these cave mouths, but you as a lizard can just climb on these walls and you don't really have to worry about any dangerous safety structures of these caves as a lizard. You can easily see the 2 guard towers better. There is one at the entrance, at the hollow, and one at the very top of the plateau in the back. These towers are 20 feet high, and you'd see a few people standing in the one right at the entrance of this camp. Again, you see the tents, but you did see those pretty clearly last night. And that's pretty much what you see at the moment as you enter this area.
Are most of the tents occupied, or are they being broken down as like people are being sent out and away?
It's interesting. What you saw last night was quite a bit of people, hundreds and hundreds of people. Today, there's not that many, comparatively. The front of the camp, that lower level, we're going to call that level 1. The front of level 1, there are a lot of tents being taken down. There's a lot of extinguished fires. Some tents look abandoned, some look like they fell over in the middle of the night. They weren't very well constructed. But you do see activity that people are starting to take these down. The second level, on the other hand, the higher portion up in the back, those tents seem to be staying.
That gives a pretty good idea of what the state is. Seems like the more trained troops are staying put while they're dispersing all the extra, which corroborates what we were figuring out before. I'm going to look around to figure out where the prisoners are at.
Okay, so go ahead and do a perception check real quick.
Sure.
First roll of the night.
There's a 16 on the die and a
Nice.
plus 7 for a 23.
Nice. Yay.
Figure
So
we start
as-
that off good.
Yes.
So as you skitter through this area, and yeah, are you going to the left or to the right? Because there's walls on both sides.
I believe I went to the left last time. Let's go ahead and go to the right, just for kicks.
Okay.
Go
So-
the long way around, probably.
So as you go to the right, you kind of do a head count of what you can see, just periodically. You only see about 50 kobolds in this area, and you see people like half-heartedly have their armor on, or a lot of people walking around without armor, just in normal plainclothes. And from what you can gather, there's maybe 100, 150, somewhere around there, people remaining.
Seems like there's enough disorganization that we should be able to get into this pretty easily, assuming we can just get past the front line. Just look kind of moseying about, doing something, carrying something. I think it should be pretty good.
As long as you look like you have purpose, people will not question you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do see people greeting each other. Some people may have just woken up at this point in the day.
Sure.
As you're going along and you're heading more towards the second portion of the camp, the higher portion that we'll call level 2. Level 2 has more activity, as in people are walking around, but these tents are not being taken down. It's more like people are grabbing food or chatting with each other, and these people look a lot more put together.
Okay.
That one may be harder to infiltrate.
Still no... Is anyone talking about the prisoners and their state? I know, like, last night, some people were saying, like, oh, they're getting real sickly and they might not last. Is anybody talking about that? I might whisper in somebody's ear.
What was
The
your perception?
prisoners.
Like 23?
Yeah, it's 23.
Okay.
You whisper.
So,
I
As
feel like I
you're-
should talk about prisoners.
yeah. As you're skittering along, you do see some people in rags. At the moment you count, you see 8 of them. And these people look in real rough shape. They're covered in mud and who knows what else. There are 4 guards that are watching them in this area, and they're kind of dragging them along towards the lower level. A couple people, as these prisoners walk by, throw like water at them and start calling them names. And pretty easy to guess who these people are.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will follow along, following the guard taking the prisoners down to the lower level.
Okay, so these prisoners are taken down, and you hear a guard yell, "Pick up this mess." And these prisoners are now being tasked, along with the kobold, surprisingly, to pick up any of the remains of trash, the tents. They are told to burn any papers that were left behind, and that's what you see going on with these prisoners. They do not look good.
Okay. So this is a work detail. I do want to figure out where the prisoners are being kept, so I may leave them and go on elsewhere.
Okay. As you start skittering away, you do hear one of the guards mutter that these, none of them have converted. Usually they convert and become members, but these guys are gonna die a day or two, and then, we'll just feed them to the drakes or take them to the cave to be fed to the hatchlings when they hatch. Another one goes, "Yeah, these filthy, worthless prisoners." And you skitter away.
It's the first we've heard of the hatchlings in a long time.
You mean since the first arc?
Yeah.
The greenest arc?
Mm-hmm.
So long ago?
We were so green back then.
Aww.
So as you get closer to the back of this settlement, you round a corner and you see a small cave that is heavily guarded.
Do I hear anything coming out of the cave? Maybe little dragonling noises?
Make a perception check.
Guess what? That's a natural 20
Ooh, for a what?
Dun dun dun.
for perception.
For a total of
Oh,
27?
yeah.
27. So at this moment, you're pretty north, and you see this small cave that is guarded by 4 guards in full armor, ready and alert. You also see a guard drake hanging out there. It's blue. It's kind of got like these strange crooked horns on its head.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and it looks like the horn may have been broken or like shaped in that way, maybe to look scarier, because it looks pretty scary. However, with your perception of a 27, you're listening in and you hear the faintest sound of chink, 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 chink.
As of metal on metal.
Yeah, as
Okay.
in metal on metal.
Well, let's push some luck here. And I'm going to go ahead and... This is on the cave, right?
Yeah, this is the cave.
So theoretically, I could climb the wall and then go climb through the doorway sideways.
You could.
I'm going to try it. You guys cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Don't die.
Yep, we'll find out.
Okay. As you do so, you poke your head in. Stick your tongue out a couple times. Smell the air. Smells coppery. Metally.
Goldie even?
Goldy even.
Silvery?
Platinumy. Maybe porcelain? Like maybe a sink is in there? Or a wardrobe? Woodish?
Seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
With your perception check, you get about a foot in there, and you notice that there is some etching on the side of the walls that does not look natural. Does a lizard have dark vision?
Distinctly, yes. I'm 30 feet.
Okay. You, being magical in nature, you recognize these etchings as runes.
Okay. I'm not trained in Arcana, so I probably won't be able to read them, but I can recognize, those are magical symbols.
They are magical symbols.
Okay.
And that's about a foot or two in.
Well, I probably shouldn't go further. As much as I want to jump in, but I do have some self-preservation.
Finally, one of your characters does.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, Lilic has the highest wisdom of any of them.
That's true.
All right, I'm going to back out and...
As soon as you get 2 paws in, or padded whatever lizards have feet in, you hear the sound of buzzing, and you see just a little bee deciding, I'm going to go check this out. And then you hear...
Don't do it, bee.
And then you hear, bzz, and the bee falls to the ground. And you as the lizard, because you are in darkness, you do see the faint flicker of kind of like electricity or light. Think a bug zapper.
Yeah. Duly
Look
noted.
at me, Ma, I'm free.
So it would have been
Blech.
great if I'd gotten zapped, because as a lizard, I've only got 2 health. So then I just would have popped up as Lilic in the doorway.
No, you might be able to get across it. Have you ever seen a bug with more than 2 health?
I mean,
If I were making a bug zapper, it'd do 1 health point.
It
of
depends
damage.
on
yeah,
how
well, it
big the
depends
bug
on if
is.
it's designed for bugs or not.
He thinks it's for more than just bugs.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to scoot my way back.
So at this point, you were at the most northern portion. It's like a little inlet to the small cave.
But I'm going to continue curving around to the west.
Yeah, so to the west of you, you do see another collection of tents. And as you're climbing this wall, you do see a very crudely built tent.
Aha. This seems like where they would keep prisoners.
So you also see, the tent itself there's a flap that goes up into the wall. And then so it looks like it was very shoddily made. Basically, there's only 3 sides.
It's like a lean-to against the wall.
Yeah, there's a lean to it. So there's only 3 sides to this. And on the bottom, you see a very, very long piece of marble or limestone or something. And you see notches in there of manacles on
Okay.
these.
I'm going to go ahead and get closer and see if I can see who's in there.
All right. It's easy enough for your nose to go through the flap if you want to do that.
Yeah, doing so.
Go ahead and do a perception check with advantage. Do you have any special senses as well?
No.
Okay.
I have a total of 18.
A quick count. You see that there are 20 sets of manacles on this thing. Only 8 of them have been opened. But you see stains on the other manacles, fresh stains of blood. Well, not necessarily fresh, but they haven't cleaned them off yet. So you can assume that there were more prisoners that are no more.
Okay. So, assumingly we have 8 surviving prisoners who are round and about the camp at the moment.
Correct.
But the tent is currently empty.
Correct. So you got an 18?
Yes.
So you also see in this tent, there's really not enough room for them to even really stand up or anything. It smells horrid. It's squalor. We won't go into details, but it's pretty gross in there. You also see in the far corner on the side that you were at, so you're coming from the south, so the south side, you see a small satchel that looks like it's haphazardly thrown there.
Okay. Gonna go investigate said satchel.
You look at it, and it is pretty nice leather, actually. It's got a nice belt buckle on there, and you do see a small inscription of some sort of symbol on it. It doesn't look arcane. At least you haven't recognized any of this.
And I'm not trained in religion, so I probably won't recognize the religious symbols that are on this.
You can try.
I don't think that...
I mean, you would recognize the sign of Tempest.
You would recognize Tempest.
Do I see the symbol of Tempest there?
You see hints of Tempest,
Okay.
but
Like
not
a club. Sorry.
like it could be Tempest adjacent, maybe.
Okay. Like, this looks relatively godly.
Yeah, it's like an ornate
There's weapons on it.
engraving on it.
Okay.
There is a section of this. It's like a messenger bag, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, if you want, try to get into the flap.
Oh, yeah. I was assuming that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a dex check.
Okay. That was not great. 8.
Okay. Luckily, the check wasn't hard, per se. However, you do, unfortunately, scratch the leather.
Yeah. Such things happen.
Oh, it was real nice leather.
Bags are meant to be used.
They're meant to be scratched up.
You get, you get inside. Getting in was fine, but there was like a hidden pocket that you didn't realize you were going to get into, so you got kind of stuck in there as well, and you end up ripping that portion as well. Luckily, you managed to do get in there, but this poor little messenger bag did not survive very well.
Was it like one of those fake pockets in jeans?
Yeah.
Mm.
Inside, you find a collection of about 8 or 9 what look to be large coins or medallions.
I know whose bag this is. But I'm not there.
No. Yeah. And Willow hasn't interacted with this person anyways. Okay. Yeah. I see coins. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that they have symbols on them or something.
You do see one of Tempest.
Okay.
Like it's legitimately carbon copy stamp of Celestine's.
Yeah, cool.
And there's some other symbols on there as well that you can't really recognize.
Okay. All right.
You
Well,
also see 2 gold at the very, very bottom, but those
That's
are
fine.
smaller medallions.
like, Lilic isn't motivated by gold, so it's there. Moving on.
Lizard brain doesn't kick in for shiny.
He doesn't have a lizard brain.
That was because you're a tiny lizard.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
But,
but he
like,
doesn't get the
lizards
lizard
don't
brain.
care about it.
That's
It's
true.
wild shape. He contains his mental stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still has a big lizard brain. A little-
Yeah. Bummer. Oh well. But that's pretty
I
much
wouldn't be able to take them anyways. We already described this
His
with the
wisdom
movie.
is high enough to prevent him from trying to take the gold.
Honestly,
Get
I
one
would
in your
really
mouth.
love to see just like a tiny little lizard with a giant coin in its mouth just trying to crawl the sides of the... So yeah, that's all you pretty much see in here.
Okay, well, I'm going to scramble out of the bag, hopefully, unless I just get stuck in there.
Do another dex
another
check,
hour.
please.
You find another fake pocket.
How much more leather are you destroying?
I rolled really well.
Oh, good.
I have a 19.
There was a secondary pocket, but you don't get caught in it.
Oh, good.
You quickly get out. You recognize it immediately.
Haha. Foiled your trap, messenger bag.
So this area right here seems to be another collection of tents. You do see, when you get out of the prisoner tent, you do see a collection of 4 tents surrounding it, which you can assume is the guards' tents.
Okay.
Much better crafted. And somebody does walk by and kind of sniffs the air, looks around a little bit.
Anytime somebody walks by me, I'll stop and like freeze and pretend I'm a rock.
Yeah,
Because that's standard lizard behavior.
yeah. Kind of stops, sniffs the air a little bit, and says, "Someone has got to clean that area. It's terrible over here," and then walks away. So we'll take a pause here. What is the rest of the party doing 20 minutes away?
So, we probably need a game plan. What
Yeah.
happens if Lilic doesn't come back?
Oh, that's a good question.
If I get trapped in a messenger bag.
If Lilic doesn't come back, then we acknowledge that their scouts are reasonable to live in the world in which we find ourselves, where random druids transform into small little animals, and we mourn his loss. And then we continue on with our operation of sneaking in. Or we determine that he's been captured and given up all the information about us under torture and threat, and flee for our lives back into the woods, hide in a different hole in the ground, and wait.
Or if we move fast enough, then we could get in and then get out.
Get in where and out of where.
Get in, grab prisoners, get out.
Aren't they sickly and slow and probably manacled?
Your shoulders look wide enough to carry one or two.
Are we only going to rescue one or two?
I mean, I could probably take two.
Are we going to only rescue 3 or 4?
Do you have a wagon?
No.
This is unfortunate.
And even if I did, a wagon cannot outrun a wyvern, nor is it subtle.
Do we see any wagons or horses in the camp?
You're too far away.
From 20 minutes away? No.
Hey guys, you want to sneak closer?
Let's sneak closer, yes.
I will stay here and attend the fire, or we probably don't have a fire. I
we
will
better
I
not
will
have a
tend
fire.
the dirt while you're gone.
Let me just learn how to, what was it, the smokestack
No
signaling?
cheese.
Yeah, let me just learn how to smokestack signal real quick.
Well, I mean, Lilac will be back within 2 hours. He has to come back within 2 hours.
Okay. I'd rather not.
No, he doesn't.
If he doesn't, then our plan is foiled, and we should proceed without
Can he
him.
not stay transformed for at least 2 hours on a single usage? And he has at least 2, I know.
One used previously to turn into a mountain lion today.
And if he took a rest at any point before we sent him out, he would have it back.
Does
And,
Usurker know that?
I don't know exactly how his powers work, but I suspect after weeks of hanging out with him, I get the general gist about how often he can shift. So
Okay.
you can tell me if I don't know that, but
I think that Lilic and Usurker have talked enough about things,
Okay.
and maybe Usurker's scientific mind wanted to learn more about the specifics of
much
the
like
extent of
how I
powers.
wanted to know about his pass without trace, and so I learned about how the spirits hide people.
Okay.
I mean, you
Cool.
also did kind of ask him some of his abilities and skills so that you could better use your tactical assessment
Mhm.
to have him
Mhm.
incorporate into our team battles.
That's true. So yeah, you would know roughly around 2 hours.
So I would in general say, though, his abilities are capable, if he desires, of prolonged usage with intermittent pauses. We will give him 2 hours because that's what we agreed, but he is capable of hiding or doing other such things to recover and recuperate.
Maybe I can ask the wind.
That'd be a good plan.
Wind, is our lizard friend safe?
Okay.
It's okay if the wind just doesn't know the answer.
There's lots of lizard things out there.
I'm gonna have to roll on my side for this one.
Oh, okay. I feel like
Probably with like
I feel like I'm
disadvantage or something
conversational
like
enough
that.
with the wind that it should know what I mean, right?
Is it the
Yeah, I
same
like
wind?
disadvantage. I rolled with disadvantage. I
Or is
like
this
that.
or is this like a river? Every time you step in a river, it's a different river.
Right?
There comes a time in every GM's tenure where you have to decide some sort of intelligence for something like the wind.
Did it roll high with a disadvantage?
So, you ask this question, and you feel the wind on your palms, and you hear the word
Como?
You do hear the word como. Which in primordial is what?
Come again?
Primordial is Spanish.
Apparently.
I guess primordial is Spanish now. So
Oh
that's
dear,
cool.
I have to brush up on my Spanish. All right, let's try this again. Is there a lot of frantic, nervous activity in the cultist camp 20 minutes away from here? And I like gesture, or not gesture, but I describe the distance location from where we are.
Okay.
You can ask if there's fighting.
Yeah, is there fighting going on? Combat.
I think like go simple.
I know. I was
Yeah,
trying.
you're asking pretty detailed
I
things.
know.
So you hear and feel on your palms the word what again, but then no?
I think it's fine, guys. Also, I need to learn how to speak more simply to the wind.
The fact that you can communicate at all is fascinating.
Yeah, I guess it is. Still learning. I've only been doing it for a few weeks now.
Honestly, You could probably become a scholar and spend your entire life discovering the wind's words and languages and learning how to be of great use to any community that you were in.
Ooh, I know what I can ask the wind. Is there danger near us? Like within immediate area, like a couple 100 feet?
Within a couple 100 feet?
Yeah.
You hear a resounding no.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be great if it said yes?
Oh, combat.
Wouldn't it be great if it turned out that the wind only considered danger to be things dangerous to it?
Nah.
Dangerous things like windmills.
Darn those windmills. Who knew the wind would be Don Quixote?
Windmills, charge!
So the plan is to wait for Lilac, and then if he doesn't come back within 2 hours, then we'll get closer to camp.
Okay.
Celestine is probably brushing up on her raised dead. Not practicing, but reading up on it. Because she forgot about little things like, it doesn't die after you summon it.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I was looking up the guidebook on this one. Instruction manual. Frequently asked questions at the back.
Yeah, as you go through your book, you feel another book that you haven't pulled out in a couple days. And realize you had totally forgotten about that book that you got from the library that had the cipher.
Oh, that's right. I should probably read up a little bit on that too.
Ooh, you want to help with that?
Sure.
I'll try.
All right, go.
I barely know how to speak to the wind.
Cool. So I'm going to need you to roll an intelligence check. And if Izzy's helping...
You could just make it like a +2 instead of advantage.
Yeah, this would be like a +2. I know that's not like a normal 5e thing, but it's a +2.
That is a total of 21.
Hey.
Okay. You manage, with Izzy's help, who surprisingly is really good at puzzles. At least these types of puzzles.
I've had a lot of help from Jaden.
With Izzy's help, she points out something that you missed before. You notice that there are different types of ink going on here. They're very, very subtle, but you notice that some of the ink is extremely black, some of the ink is more of a gray, and some of the ink is kind of in between. And as Izzy is helping you along, you realize that these are different ciphers that follow different rules.
Oh, that's why I was having a hard time earlier.
Yes.
Could we say that I helped notice the colors because of my keen jeweler's eye?
Yeah.
With
And
an
artistry.
eye for color. And
Yeah.
that distinct difference is what makes or breaks a item.
You are an artist.
It's true.
Celestine is not.
Breaking the ciphers themselves will take a little bit of time. However, you now have the ability to separate the different inks and the different words and letters out.
Okay, great.
Back to Lilac.
Having looked around the camp for some time, I'm going to look at the fancy tent.
Okay. So this area is a little less hectic than Area 1. However, there are a lot of people walking around. So you will need to make some sort of dex check to not get stepped on.
Okay, sure. Can I make this a stealth check
Sure.
to avoid notice? I imagine that this area is more cleared and there are less places to hide.
Yeah, let's do that. The fancy tent, again, is in the middle of this level 2
Level
area. So you're going to have... There's no walls around this place.
Yeah.
So...
I'm going to be trying to aim for, piles of stuff and around other tents and things like that for my cover.
Okay.
Well, that's not a great roll. How about total of 8?
Ooh.
Let's see if my lizard gives me any extra. Nope. Okay.
So you manage to pass the cluster of tents near the prisoners. You pass another one without issue, and then there's a giant clearing between you and the fancy tent. And as you're making your way, skittering your way over, a guard drake comes around that fancy tent.
This is why I didn't go in the first place.
And then it looks right at you.
I freeze, as any reasonable lizard does.
It freezes as well.
Being a reasonable lizard itself.
Stares at you.
Gonna stare right back.
Stick your tongue out and lick your eye.
Yeah. Gonna do that.
Okay.
And
It doesn't know.
he doesn't know that dialect.
Yeah. You can tell because there's some sort of mild communication going on here between predator and currently prey. It's not coming at you, but it's not taking its eyes off you. It does not understand the eye lick as well.
Okay. I think I'm going to make a hasty retreat. Having been noticed, I'm going to make a cautious retreat. Let's do that. So, because making a quick retreat will likely get myself chased.
Skitter to a boulder or something.
Would it be like a knowledge? It's not a natural beast. I guess it'd be arcana. Knowledge arcana to know what's the least likely to provoke a drake.
Could be animal handling.
Well, maybe animal handling.
I'm trained in both nature and animal handling.
Or try to liken it to another animal, such as an alligator.
Right. Well, I mean, except that it's a dragon.
Well, yes, but
Yeah. It would either be, let's see. What is it?
Or insight.
Yeah, it's a
Is it going to pounce you?
Yeah, it's a dragon. That would be Arcana. Go ahead and do an insight on this thing real quick.
Sure. I mean, the obvious is it's hungry and wants to eat me. A total of 19.
As you take a couple steps back, you kind of move a little quickly and it takes a couple steps towards you. But then it steps back. Doesn't look like it's hungry. It was just bored.
Mm-hmm.
And you were something interesting.
Yeah. Well, and it's a, assumedly a drake guard. It's supposed to be guarding a specific place, so like not gonna wander off too far.
It's still staring at you, but it does not come near you.
Well, I'm gonna go find a rock to hide behind. Break line of sight.
Okay. You easily find a rock to hide behind. It stares in your general direction for a couple minutes, and then it goes back to its patrol. A few moments later, you hear a commotion from inside the tent.
I will poke my little lizard head around the other side of the rock and look back over at the fancy tent to see what's going on.
So, the portion that you're seeing, you're not quite right behind it, but you're kind of kitty corner so you can see the corner of it, the back corner of it. You hear the sounds of multiple people talking loudly, and there's a very, very loud as something heavy hits the ground. The tent flap immediately opens, and you see a woman wearing purple with dark hair, fuming, by the way, dragging a person behind her. This person is bound and has a bag over their head. They are feebly struggling, but they're not getting out anytime soon. You also see a person in red robes and a very scary looking turtle trailing behind them, and they're laughing behind them, but the woman in purple looks furious, and they are dragging this person into the second cave that you have not gone into yet.
Are they moving slowly enough that I might be able to scurry up to them?
What's your speed again? 20?
20 feet.
If you scurry, you would be able to catch up to them.
I would like to try and secrete myself on his person.
Okay.
I believe you'd like to secret yourself on his person.
What did I say?
If you
you may try to secrete yourself on this person.
Give me a second.
Glad you caught that, David.
Ooh.
Okay.
You're
You're right, David. I will try and secret myself on this person. Yeah.
Okay, so you scurry up. Go ahead and make a dex check to see if you can get on the person. At this moment, the guard drakes are trotting along with them, kind of in front of the woman in purple. They're not really paying attention to you, but they every once in a while will brush up against Mondoth. And
Oh, they're like those happy dogs who run along as people are going like,
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Okay, rolling that deck. Oh, hey, there's a natural 20.
Hey!
Oh! You managed to secret yourself into the pocket of this person.
That's amazing.
You
Is
said
that
it
2
correctly.
pockets
I
in one
did.
day?
But we're
One
still laughing about
unintentional
it.
and then one intentional?
You managed to secret yourself into the pocket of this person. So very quickly, make a perception check. You're into the pocket of this person's pants.
What's the reason for this? Is this for like listening outside or inside?
This is
or-
for...
just a little bit of context before I roll things, so I can communicate that
Actually,
my
you know
need
what?
to my
We'll
dice.
skip that. Never mind. It probably wouldn't fit in a pocket, so that's fine. You happily, being secreted away, feel yourself being dragged into the cave.
Hopefully you're on the pocket that's facing up and not being dragged along the ground.
Ouch.
Yeah, that would hurt. Goodness.
No, you're unlikely to trigger the trap if you're in someone's pocket.
Exactly. I figured that this is a good opportunity to be able to sneak into the cave, and at some point, when this person is, assumedly he's one of the prisoners, is left alone, then be able to communicate, like, help is here. Give me information.
He's going to be very surprised when you pop out.
Oh, that will be tricky. Hope he has a lizard.
You'll have to unwild shape.
Okay.
How dexterous is your tongue?
What?
Write it in the ground.
Maybe
Maybe do a little lizard scurrying into words.
Yeah, I considering this plan, I found a
Get a string.
flaw.
Get a string and drag it into words. You know, and make lines from the dust.
Lilac, you are dragged for a few minutes. I'm going to need you to do a survival check just to keep yourself oriented on where you are and to see if you are able to get yourself out of where you're going. Inside
Get
of
myself out.
if you need to leave. So you're inside
okay,
the
I
cave right
understand.
now?
So
Yeah, so-
to be able to maintain orientation. Okay,
yeah, to
that makes
maintain
sense.
orientation.
Okay. Oh. I rolled a 2, but I do have a +7, so it gets me up to a 9,
Okay.
which is not great.
Remember that number for later, please.
Noted.
You are dragged and you smell small bits of like embers. You think that maybe there are torches where you are. After a moment, you smell wood and like moldy paper. And then a few moments later, your nose is assaulted by the smells of decay and rot and gross.
This is maybe a troubling thing of what I am. 'Cause if this person is upset, the person in charge may be getting thrown in the corpse pit. This is not a good place for a lizard and pocket of person going in the corpse pit. We shall see.
After a moment, you hear a female, not in front of you, but off to the side, say, "This guy is one tough dude. I haven't seen someone survive Madame Mondos interrogations as long as him." And another says, "I know one woman who lasted a month, but she eventually gave it. Oh, Madame Mondoth, I didn't see you there." And she says, "Out of my way." And you hear the sounds of bodies being pushed out of the way. And eventually you feel yourself lose gravity for a moment, and you think that the body is being thrown in the air somewhere.
Okay.
So,
Brace yourself.
yep, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah.
The body's about to hit the floor.
Oh no.
Okay, 12 on the dice. I have a dex save of 1 for a total of 13.
All right. You don't take any damage.
Okay.
However, your tail is trapped.
Oh no. That's a good thing you're a lizard.
Yeah,
Can't lizards lose their tails
some
if they
can.
need to? I guess we'll
Depends
find
on-
out what type of lizard you are.
Yes, we will.
Above you, you hear a very frustrated sigh. And the woman in purple that you have now become familiar with her voice, you hear her sigh and say, "I am so tired of the both of you. You both have one more chance to tell me where Faradin is and where you put the mask. And you hear no response.
Is there any movement from the body underneath me?
You hear groaning. The body shifts a little bit. You think that they put themselves on their back. But from what you saw, their hands were tied, so moving around beyond that
fair.
is going to be really hard.
I'll poke my... No, I will wait just a little moment. I was going to poke my nose out, but I should probably just wait.
Okay.
Kayla is nodding vigorously.
Yeah, I agree.
She sighs again. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to decide. And if you decide wrong, we'll just start targeting more cities until we find it. We know Faradin has standards, after all. He's not going to go to some podunk town in the middle of nowhere. You have 10 minutes. By the way, give them their lunch. And then she walks out.
I'm going to poke my head out of the hole and see what I see.
Okay. From your vantage point, the room looks like a makeshift dungeon. The person that you are currently in their pocket of, the bag is still on their head. Nobody moved it off. And to the left of you, you see a man in tattered clothes slumped over, groaning in pain. He's covered in dirt, mud, and other unsavory things. The cloth around his manacled wrists are stained red. At first, you think it's blood, but quickly realize that it's probably spoiled wine. A couple moments later, a humanoid holding a dirty plate with small amounts of rotted food on it roughly yanks the man in front of you into a sitting position, and then you feel the person that you are attached to also get roughly yanked up into a sitting position. You also hear the sound of rustling as the bag over this person's head gets taken off. And you see a young man with darkish hair. It's kind of dark in here. Darkish hair and young. Maybe early mid-20s. You're not entirely sure.
Question
Answer.
for Ashlyn.
Uh-huh.
Does Ashlyn have a picture of Jaden?
Did Izzy have a picture of Jaden?
Sorry. I mean,
Izzy... Oh, geez. I can't remember for sure.
oh yeah. We were going to get pictures drawn up and given to the people in Burdusk.
That's right.
We're
Yes.
going to put posters up, right?
Yes. Oh, what's her name? Silversmith lady?
Mhm.
She helped me create the posters, I'm pretty
It's
sure.
true.
That's right.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, Corin, does this man's description match the description that Izzy gave to our silversmith friend?
It does.
Haha! We have found him!
This is
We found
Jaden.
Jaden.
Dun dun dun.
Perfect.
So the bag got ripped off of what you now know Jaden's head, and you hear the person who is in front of them with those dirty plates. They're covered, their face is covered. You hear them say, "Lunchtime, monk," and "Monk's idiot, traitor," before smearing the rotten slop that was on this plate into both of their faces. You look to the right and you see in the doorway that there are 3 other humanoids. And they're just laughing. They find this hilarious.
Okay, I'm going to poke my nose around, and are the guards by the doorway, are they watching very closely, or...
They're not watching closely, but they're watching enough because it's amusing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the doorway is fairly large. It's about 10 feet wide. And I say room, but it's really like a cutout of a cave.
Okay.
And, like, somebody haphazardly put, like, doors there. It's not a real room. One's leaning on the edge of the door frame. The other one has their arms crossed. And
Okay. Well, I am going to wait until the meal giver goes off for a little ways, and then scramble out of Jaden's pocket.
yeah, honestly, it takes 30 seconds for them to do all this. But after 30 seconds, you see the cloaked person grab 2 goblets of liquid, and it smells sour. And it's very clearly this is bad wine.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, tilts it over their mouths and, like, shoves it in their faces so it goes all over the place.
Yeesh.
And then the person shakes their hand, stands up, and says, "You may not get dinner. Good luck. Hope you make the right decision," and then walks out. And 2 of the other guards walk out with them. And the one that was leaning against the doorframe just stays there and looks bored.
Question, did they put the sacks back on top of their heads?
They did not.
Okay. Let them wallow in their filth in the bags, I guess. It's better to not have that then.
I am going to scramble out of Jaden's pocket, and I don't know how to make myself well known to them without
Run
Start doing a
circles.
dance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it.
Doing something very unlizard-like.
I will crawl down onto Jaden's knee or leg or something like that, and just tap 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 tap, just getting his attention.
Okay. Make a performance check.
Guess that was
If you
tap
fail, is that
dancing,
good?
but it wasn't really.
Just for kicks and
does
giggles.
Jaden have to roll insight?
Sure. I'll roll an insight for Jaden. Okay.
I rolled well. Which is 18 minus 1 is still a 17.
Jaden got a nat 20.
Yes, okay.
That's my Jaden.
It takes a moment before Jaden looks down. His eyes are glazed over. He looks like he has not been treated very well. He looks very gaunt, and he looks starving, and his pupils are slightly dilated. He tilts his head, looks at Leosin.
I hit his leg with my tail 3 times.
He shakes his head and looks back at you. Hi?
Tap, tap, tap.
Hi.
Tap, tap, tap. Because I can't communicate as an actual using voices.
Jaden nods his head 3 times.
I do the exact same sequence that he nods.
You hear a mumble, I must be going crazy. The lack of food and water's finally
And
getting
then I
me.
go tap, tap for 2, and then shake my head back and forth. No.
Definitely going crazy. Hi. How may I help you, Mr. Lizard?
Okay, I have
While
it.
I'm bound and trapped in a cave. How can I
And
help you,
with
Mr.
food
Lizard?
smeared all over
Yes.
his face.
So now I have his attention. I have to figure out what to do with it.
Do you happen to know Morse code as well?
Nope. Just nope. Lilith would have no reason to know that. I don't know if that's a real thing in the Forgotten Realms.
Would you be able to...
The famous wizard named Morse.
What kind of ground is this? Is it dusty or is it just stone and rocky?
It's mostly stone, but there's enough stuff on the ground that you could maybe draw something.
Yeah, I can't think of any symbols that we've talked about that would make sense to communicate. I was oh, I want to communicate Izzy, but what kind of
Yeah.
abstract concept can I do for that? That would,
Only you had some jewelry from her.
yep, that would have been really good, but I don't.
Mm.
Do you still have a wild shape? Or is this it?
This is it.
Okay.
I will have to rest, and so if maybe I can hide myself somewhere.
Is Lilith literate? I feel like we've asked this question before.
He
I
Yes.
thought we
is.
said yes.
Yes.
Because
I
he can
initially
read
had said
dragon.
no, but yes.
Because you could, just spell it out.
That seems difficult too. Right in his hand.
I was going to say right in the dust or on the ground or whatever,
Mhm.
but
I will attempt to write in the dust using either my tail or just walking
Using
Okay.
your claws.
claws. That might be the easiest way to go about it, is to go down to an area that's out of sight of the guard. So you have guard on one side, Jaden, and then myself.
Correct.
That's the order he's going to be in.
That's the order that I'm going to be in.
Okay.
And attempt to draw very widely. It might take a little bit of time. I, Z, and Y. I know that's not how Izzy spells it,
Okay.
but that will be the attempt.
Izzy? Izzy.
Tap, tap, tap.
At this point,
you're
Leosin. At this
I'll
point,
take it.
At this point, Leosin is also looking at this weird-looking lizard that's spelled Izzy.
What's the symbol of Tempest?
It's a sword. Sword on fire usually, but a sword.
Okay, I will attempt to I'll move over a little ways and then do essentially a T, so like a sword is what I'm trying to get at, and with fire-looking jaggedy lines. I may need to make some checks for this.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a dexterity on this thing, because this is going to take some time.
Can I say dexterity performance?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I net 0 on this, so it's just a raw number.
Okay.
It's just what makes sense to me. Is like using my dexterity, but trying to perform a thing. Oh, I have an 8.
Okay. It takes you some time. Unfortunately, before you're able to finish the flames, you hear the stomping sounds of somebody coming down the hallway.
Are there any crates or rocks or anything, places that I can hide behind?
There is muck.
Back in the pocket.
Yeah, I will attempt to get into... If Leosin's got a pocket or something like that, assumingly. If this other person has a pocket or something that I can scurry into.
Yeah, you can easily do that.
Okay, I will do that.
How much time is left in your wild shape?
I need to be keeping track of this.
At this point, I'll say you have about 15 minutes left.
Okay.
And in comes the woman in purple again. She says, have you made your decision? Are you going to tell us where the mask is and where forward it is? Or are you going to keep it to yourself and just watch a whole bunch of people die? And there is no response. You can't see what's going on inside the pocket, unfortunately. She says, fine. And she yells down the corridor, send everyone home. Grab Erlanther and the kid. I want them to watch us drag everyone they love into Avernus, starting with Burdusk. We leave in 4 hours. Get that castle in the sky. And then you feel hands grab Erlanther and just drag him. You feel being dragged again. And you hear the sound of somebody else being dragged. And you hear shouts in the back. Send everyone home. Send everyone home. Send everyone home. Stay away from Burdusk. And you feel yourself being dragged in a different direction. What do?
You said Erlanther.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Madame Mondoth called him.
Yeah, Erlanther.
It is
Leosin
It is
Erlanther.
Leosin.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Leosin.
Just not how I knew him, and so like...
Right.
Oh,
I was also confused. I was like, wait, who? Is this a new guy I was
No.
supposed to know?
Leosin Erlanther.
Gotcha.
And you're
What do I
being
do?
dragged in a different direction than you remember being dragged into. What do? You have 15 minutes in your wild shape,
You still have to get out of camp.
and you still have to get out of this area.
I'm going to tap, tap, tap on the inside of the pocket.
Okay.
See if I can tumble my way out of it.
Okay, easy enough.
As soon as I get out, tap, tap, tap again. So maybe if they see or hear in their direction, and then I will make my way out.
Okay, what was your survival check?
It was not great. It was 9.
Okay, it takes you 9 minutes to get out of that cave. You get turned around a couple more times.
Ooh.
You now have 6 minutes to figure out what to do. What are you going to do?
At this point, I'm going to find a cave.
Easy enough.
Yeah, first one that I can find that is unoccupied and does not have stuff in it.
It takes you 3 minutes to find one, but you find one.
I'm going to go to the furthest portion of it to the back
Easy enough.
and drop my wild shape and lay low.
You could also pretend to be one of the cultists who are going home.
Is this your only wild shape?
Yeah.
Yes, I will have to rest before I wild shape again.
That is true. You could pretend to be one of the cultists because they do have a turtle. So a lizard folk isn't going to be that odd.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Just an option.
Mm-hmm.
You do it. What Lilac thinks
Yeah, whichever way we go.
is best.
So I just rolled to see if somebody found you in this cave. They do not. You are able to stay a whole hour in this cave without anybody noticing you. So you may, if you need to take a short rest, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I'm doing so during this.
Meanwhile, back at
the camp.
back at the ranch where everyone else is waiting.
Didn't we say that after 1 hour or 30 minutes we said we were going to go in?
Yeah, we did.
Well, here we go.
All right.
In we go.
Okay, so I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna saunter right in. Like those guys that we fought before, they said that they were about to send people home, right? Like,
Sauntering like a mercenary.
yeah. How's your mercenary face, Usarker?
Well, it's not blue.
So,
I figure if that's the standard, then I'm doing all right.
okay. I mean, I can always wear like a covering, like a face covering, pretend I have like a skin condition or something.
Usarker nods. That might be helpful. I'm afraid I don't usually look like a brigand or a thug, but I suppose I could put on a mean face.
And I'm switching out for a regular cloak instead of a habit. I just realized that's what I was wearing. So we are switching out for a cloak, and I will hide my Talisman of Tempest and hide it under my cloak and under my armor.
Perfect. So you guys storming into the camp?
Sauntering.
Okay, you get about 10 minutes away, and you hear someone say, "Nope, turn around. We're going home. We're going home."
What's this?
Yeah, we're going home. They sent us home. Don't go back to Burdusk.
I have to grab my oh, not to Burdusk?
Oh, well, if you got stuff, go. Hurry quick. Go get your stuff.
All right, we'll be fast.
In we go.
Good. Be quick.
Walking in.
I'm starting to run like, oh, gotta hurry now. So I'm gonna start running in like I'm urgently going towards the place that I know where I'm going.
Okay. You guys make it into the edge of the camp, and you see a guard at the guard tower lazily just reading a book and looks up and says, "Go home."
Gotta grab my stuff first.
You have 10 minutes. Go get your stuff.
I'll be done in 5.
Does the camp seem like it is in a large commotion?
Yes.
Like they just received new orders and are bustling about to enact them?
Oh, yeah. There's stuff getting taken down even quicker than what Lilac saw earlier. There's people piling a bunch of stuff into bags. Sleeping bags are being rolled. People are chatting amongst themselves about, don't want to go to Burdusk. That's not going to be a good place to go.
I'm going to grab a kobold.
What's that?
Oh.
Hey,
What?
I just came in. What's going on? What's
We're
the
going
new
home.
order? Why?
Go home.
What's the new order?
The new order is to go home
Just go
and
home?
stay away from Burdusk.
Stay away for any reason?
It's a kobold.
Does
I
the
don't
kobold
know. They don't tell us anything. We help them and they don't tell us anything.
That's always the way of it. All right, fair enough. I'm letting him go.
Get gone! And then you see them running around a little bit more.
So I'm not trying to separate the party, but I'm definitely trying to act like I know where I'm going, and I'm basically trying to head towards the center of the camp so that I can get a better vantage point of where we would probably need to go next.
Yes.
Easy enough. You're able to get there. At this point, because of all the commotion, and it's kind of hard to walk around like people who are like moving a bunch of stuff. I'm going to say, at this point, Lilac, your short rest is done.
Mm-hmm. I come out of the cave and look around and see all the commotion.
Make a perception check.
Are you wild shaped again?
No, actually, I'm going to go ahead and come out as a humanoid in my normal shape, and I'm gonna look at the cave next to me, or if there happened to be any supplies in this cave, or was this totally empty? I know that I looked for one that was empty.
There's nothing in this cave, but there is some stuff in the other cave.
Okay, I will grab a bedroll or a sack or something like that.
Easy enough, there's a bedroll there.
Okay, so it looks like, hey, I have stuff and I'm moving around, and I'm going to come to the edge of the cave and look out and see.
Make a perception check.
19 on the die, plus 7 for 26.
26. She's trying really hard, but you do notice blue hands in the middle of the camp, just looking around.
Going like hand to the eyes like I'm looking, and that's going to help me look better.
A few moments later, you see a very bulky woman in a
cloak.
in a cloak, and you recognize that shape as Celestine in her full armor. And you also see the skinny, very gaunt man very close by as well. Your party has decided to come in camp.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my dagger and flash it, use it as a mirror, flashing the sunlight to catch Usarker's attention, or Izzy, or Celestine, trying to catch that.
My passive perception is 10. I probably don't catch it.
Yeah, that's everyone's
10
passive.
is average.
Mhm.
We're not looking for it, but
12.
my passive is 15.
Yeah. Usarker, you notice the flashing pretty quickly, and you
And I go,
see...
I do,
I see a
3
lizard.
motions.
I see a lizard man.
You do. You recognize this lizard man.
And did he just walk out of the prison
No, he walked out of a separate cave.
Okay. Ah, there's our fellow.
Where?
Hey, you! Get over here. We're supposed to be heading out.
Yeah, go home.
I just had to grab my things here. It will be coming.
Sorry, he's foreign.
Oh.
We're all foreign, sir.
He's more foreign.
But we won't be soon.
I walk up.
Lilac, you didn't show back up. What delayed you?
A woman comes behind you. Get out, and she starts pushing you guys out and starts corralling people. And you also see the guard drakes from earlier are starting to like growl and starting to push people out very quickly.
Is everyone moving in the same direction, or are some people going in other directions?
They're all pushing towards the mouth of the area, and they're all going separate directions after that point.
Okay.
Quickly, I have a thing that I need to show you in this cave over here. I have a heavy box that needs lifting. Come.
You have 30 seconds. Get it and go.
Run.
Come,
We're gonna run.
come.
We're booking it.
All right, I think we jog.
And I'm just going to a cave, essentially trying to get us out of sight for a moment that I can tell them what's going on without getting shooed out.
Right.
Depends.
Because I'm sure they're not going to care what happens to us if they don't see us after 30 seconds. They're not going to remember us. There's too many people.
We will see how they react on that.
That's true.
Yes. So, I'm going to roll for this woman to see if she remembers you guys specifically as she's corralling hundreds of people.
So there's that with disadvantage?
Would it be better if we just didn't roll and just continued as if we just said so?
I would like to roll. She does not notice you. She totally forgets you. But the guard drakes are starting to prowl. Once the crowd starts thinning, they're prowling into different caves. Looks like they have a mission.
Okay, so they're in the caves, so we can't go in the caves unless we want to fight them.
What do you do?
25 words or less, go.
Pass without a trace as we walk into the cave.
Perfect.
I am entirely befuddled. Why are we doing whatever we're doing here?
I have found Jaden. I have found the Leosin.
I'm sorry.
They are here.
You said you found Jaden?
Yes.
Here.
He's a prisoner.
Well, we expected him to be a prisoner of the kobolds.
I mean, it's one thing to expect something, another to find out it's true. Where is he? Where did they take him?
They were going a different direction. I had to get out before I had to change back. Only have so much time. The Mondoth, the lady.
She's
Madam
here.
Mudface.
Yes. She was interrogating them. Wanting to know where the mask was, where the Theradin was. The prisoners not say anything. And so the Mondoth say, send everyone home. Burdesk get pulled down to somewhere.
She also mentioned that she
somewhere?
wanted them to see that happen.
Okay.
And she also mentioned about the castle flying.
What do you mean pulled down somewhere?
Don't know. But
How do you pull... Like, they're going to pull down the walls, maybe?
Pulling
How?
down a city is a simple matter of siege work, I imagine. But
it seemed...
Still takes a while.
It seemed like it was something bad.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, regardless, it doesn't sound good, but...
And the castle will be leaving. Perhaps we find the castle quickly?
I think we know where it's at, right? Didn't we pass it?
You haven't passed the castle, but Lilac does know it's about a mile north.
Okay.
In the same area.
And
we
now
can't do everything. We have a
And
limited
I
amount
heard
of
about a
time and
castle.
You did.
I heard about a castle from the elemental that died in my arms.
You did.
I think our best chances are to go for the castle then. We can go through the caves, but I don't think we're going to... There's
So
too many caves.
And this castle is the flying castle that your elemental told you about.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know how many castles are in this area.
If
but
this castle flies, then it will be a one-way trip, I expect, and we will lose our chance to rescue Jaden.
I'm asking the wind, where is the castle?
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
Dice, don't fail me. I really want this to work, so I'm using my token of power
Okay.
for a total of 18.
Okay. immediately you feel something brush against your hand and then wrap around it. And you feel it trying to pull your hand in a specific direction.
Follow me. I know where to go.
And that's where we're end our session.
Yeah.
Wind tentacles?
Jada!